Okay, hello. Good morning, good evening, good day, good afternoon. Welcome back to another episode of Lou Reviews. I'm Lou. Welcome, you guys. Before we get started with our review of The Last of Us season finale, episode 9, wanted to remind you guys, of course, like, share, subscribe to the show if you haven't already. I have to apologize to you guys. For some reason, every time I start a stream, I schedule the stream, and then when I hit go live, the software thinks the show has started. YouTube thinks the show has started, but the show's not actually streaming. It's really weird. So I actually have to stop the stream and then quickly restart it and do a whole new stream key for it to work. It's really, really weird. If anybody has a solution out there for that, let me know. But yeah, the go live button just doesn't seem to work. I don't know. It's really, really strange. Anyway, you guys, thank you so much for being here. We've got a fun one planned for you guys. We've got my buddy here, my writer buddy, Mr. Jeremy Schmidt. I'm going to go ahead and unmute his mic, and I'm going to switch over to our interview setup here, our brand new interview setup. Jeremy, how you doing?
Yo!
What's shaking?
Good, buddy.
It works. It works.
It worked?
We're
can hear
alive.
Me?
I can
live?
hear you. I can hear you. I can see you. The stream is alive both on Twitch and YouTube. It's really weird. It's like when I hit the go live button, for some reason it makes me stop the whole thing and restart. There's like a little green box at the bottom here that lights up, and that's lets me know when we're live. And that green box is gray when I hit it the first time. And then when I hit it a second time, it just starts a whole new thing with no title, no nothing. It's just like, so before I start it again, I've got to retitle it. It's really weird. It's a really weird little hiccup.
That's freaky deaky, my man.
Yeah, it's freaky deaky, but I haven't been able to figure it out, and I can't seem to find anybody else with this issue. It's just my stream. I don't know.
I mean, you should probably just cancel it.
I should probably
cancel the
end
whole
the show.
thing.
Yeah,
just end it for good.
End it. Yeah, I think that's a good call.
Good to be back, Lou. I haven't been back in a minute.
Yeah.
Love the show. Love the content, really, that you're pumping out. Love the content. I can't see you this time, so I'm just guessing that you're laughing or at least smiling at all of my jokes I'm making.
Always, yes, all the time. Yeah. Okay. Well, real quick because we haven't had you here for, I think, what is it, the last 2 or 3 episodes?
2 or 3, yeah.
Thanks for clarifying that up.
2 or 3, at least.
At least. Okay. So, what did you think? I guess we'll go back. Let me take a look, because I just wanted to get your quick sort of perspective on the last couple of episodes. So let me go back and just look them up by name. Let's see here. All episodes. So I think you left us at Left Behind, which was episode...
Like 5.
Was it? Let me see. 1... Okay, it's here at the bottom.
Yeah, I think it was
7. Episode 7.
Okay.
I think,
Good.
right? Because...
Maybe.
Actually... Yeah,
the last one I did with you was 5. It was the end of the Melanie
Survive.
Linsky stuff.
Yeah. It was the Henry story and his little brother.
Right.
Okay, so then the next episode is Kin, which is where he finds his brother. What'd you think?
Right.
Quick sort of overall thought of that episode?
Liked it. It's weird because now that I feel like I can just kind of quickly talk about all 3 episodes sort of in one shot.
Yeah.
It's like
do that.
It's like they're trying to wrap up the story quickly because it was, as we'll find out through this episode, they wanted to wrap the season at the end of the first video game.
Right.
I feel like I in general have stronger feelings of the first half of the season than I do the second half, and I think it's because we're getting a lot of story in kind of a short amount of time. Like an hour goes through the whole brother thing, and then we'll see the next episode goes through basically the DLC of the video game, which is like her relationship with her friend who got bit alongside her, and then we have like the whole pedophile in the snow burning
Yeah.
building episode. And all of those in the game are long sequences.
Right.
Like each one of those is long. And so they kind of had to like, breeze through a lot of that stuff pretty quickly. And so my kind of feeling on the second half of the season is that it was sort of rushed. Specifically the burning building episode. I felt like that was kind of rushed. I love the character. I feel like that could have easily been a 2-episode arc, like with the Melanie Linsky stuff. So it seems like in general they wanted to be done in 9 episodes, and so because of that, we get like, and I know you love this episode because you were like, I rated the penultimate episode as like one of the higher rankings you gave an episode, and I just felt like towards the end I was like, why didn't he put out the fire on the building? He checks it out and then he lets it burn, and then like where's the rest of the townspeople when this is happening? Like there's like plot holes, and I'm like, it feels like, okay, he's a cannibal and religious and a pedophile, all things wrapped into one. It was like a lot to digest in an hour.
Right.
So that was my kind of take on the last 3 episodes, up to the finale. Rushed, but good stuff in there. But
yeah, so
rushed.
you felt it was a little rushed.
I do think so. Yeah, I think like Melanie Linsky's arc was great because it had time to breathe.
Right.
It had 2 episodes to breathe. Yeah.
Right.
And I feel like we didn't get that with Pastor Cannibal and and
Right.
I did like the episode with in the mall. That felt right. That felt like a good amount of time to tell that story.
Yeah,
But-
well, it was the whole episode, like really took its time in telling the story, and so I think the preacher probably should have been a 2-arc story or 2-episode arc story, in a way.
Right.
Maybe that would have been a little better to sort of give him
I
time
think
to
so.
breathe.
Yeah.
Because the
I
guy,
feel-
he was a killer actor.
He crushed the role, and like they did it in one episode that they did what they did in one episode. I just wish they did in 2, which is like present him as kind, and then maybe in the second episode we see that turn into madness or evil or whatever. Like, and they kind of do that in the episode, but like at first he's kind of kind, you don't know, and then later on in the episode he's evil, bad, and we want him out of there. And again, like that's a huge chunk of the game, and not to keep referencing the game, but I feel like if these creators were left on their own and maybe unlimited budget, maybe they got 12 episodes or instead of 9, I think they would have been able to. I think they would have definitely preferred it. You could feel the episode like rushing. Oh, we got to get a lot now. We got to do this monologue now, and it's like it was like a lot at once. But I mean that's probably not everyone's take, but definitely mine, and definitely like also. I wonder what it was like for someone who didn't play the game, to watch it. Like I know Jackie, my partner, felt similarly. Just like, like we got like a lot of great breathing room in the first half, and then we got kind of like it speeds up, speed.
Yeah,
and then now we're off.
I feel like it's not fair though, a little bit, only because. I mean, a game has as much time to breathe as possible and sort of tell the intricacies of this. With that said, though, I mean, it's the second highest rated episode on IMDb anyway.
Which one? The penultimate?
The When We Are in Need. Yeah, the cult.
The cannibal. Yeah, right.
The cult cannibal priest. I mean, it was my highest rated episode too. Right. Even though it did feel a little rushed, it was still really, really good. Yeah. And there was some great moments in there. But yeah, I agree. I think if just the episode would have been devoted to just him.
Right. Yeah.
Like just
a nice long setup.
A nice long setup of this community and who he is in the community. And the whole episode to see him turn, and instead of in the beginning of the episode, we're eating your dad, basically, wink, wink, nudge, nudge. We maybe get that by the end of the episode.
Yeah, you think about these as like short stories. Each episode has so far been a self-contained short story that barely progresses. I mean, the truth of the whole season is that it has like a plot, but each episode is really its own self-contained thing. Like so, or chunks of episodes. So, And I think I just, again, like, if the first 2 episodes was like the Tess stuff, like that felt to me nice and loose. And then you have episode 3, what, not a bottle episode, but like, you know, a weird divergence. And then 4 and 5, again, beautiful, enough time to breathe. Really hooked us, I think, because I went back and watched it with my partner Jackie, and that whole run of like 1 through 5 really hooked us in
Yeah.
and kept us going for the rest. Which again, not bad, none of it bad, and we'll definitely are showing up for season 2. You know, fuck yeah. But not like, again, I think just like imagine a world where we get the Cannibal Town for 2 episodes. Because I also kind of, that's another thing, is like I kind of wanted that. I kind of wanted more with that guy, because now he's just dead, and that was it. It was like that, his one little moment. Yeah.
Well, I think this season should have had one more episode.
Yeah, right. 9's a weird number, no?
9 is a very weird number. I don't know what made them settle on 9, but honestly, you could have taken the cult leader story as its own episode, I think, or Jakarta. One of those two could have been its own episode, and I think it would have. Oh man, I don't know which one I would want to see more. Like a whole episode in Jakarta in that language with nothing but subtitles. Right. Or would I want to see a whole episode devoted to this community that's actually a cult?
I think both. I think in an ideal world we get a 12-episode season, and then you have 3 additional episodes to sort of play with. And I think the Jakarta thing was great. I even feel like, and we'll get into it with this episode, the finale. I mean, I have thoughts on it. I can't wait to get into it. It's a fun episode for sure. It's how the game wraps up. So, there was really no zigging or zagging in this episode. It's kind of how it all plays out, beat for beat.
Right.
Could have maybe even used, an episode of him deciding to do what he does. You know what I mean? Or like a little bit of time of him deciding to do what he does. Because, again, like, that's a huge commitment.
Yeah.
Joel commits hard to a path. And, like, I feel like, we'll get there, but even that felt like a pretty snap-to-it decision as opposed to we see him make the choice.
Right. Well, yeah. I mean, I guess let's get into it. I mean, the episode opens with Ellie and Joel kind of, again, traveling. Always traveling nomads, essentially. And you could definitely tell that the experience this cult has had on Ellie. Like, she's wearing it. She's got, like, it seemed to me almost like a form of PTSD. Where she's understanding what's being said, but she's not paying attention. She's just in her own world.
Yeah, right.
And so I thought that was cool. And then we also get Joel open up, sort of see that she's struggling, and he finally gives her the story as to why he's got the scar on his head. And we learned that it was an attempted suicide. And he missed. Like, he genuinely missed.
Right.
He was ready to die. Yeah. He was ready to do it. And the special ops... I mean, I don't remember what Joel's actual background is, but I know he's former military, right?
That maybe. I mean,
that's the feel you get.
Yeah. In the before time... I mean, I always got the impression that he was like a contractor. Right. And then when the apocalypse happened, that's when he became a bit of like a soldier.
See, I got the impression that he was a soldier before being a contractor, and the job being a contractor is that's his business, that he started when he got back from overseas. Yeah. And maybe
that's totally possible.
Yeah. I mean, at least that's the way I sort of, I don't know, the way they, especially like a contractor to me wouldn't have the survival skills that Joel does.
Yeah, I mean, you're probably right. I don't know how many. I always assumed he just picked it up during the apocalypse. I definitely know that when he's talking to his brother about the awful crimes they committed, I think that is during the apocalypse, though.
Oh, for sure, that is
Right. Okay.
Yeah. No,
I guess
no.
that's what I'm basing it on, is like all the talk about the crimes they committed during.
Yeah,
the
no.
apocalypse.
What I'm saying is that he got his
He
training
knows,
and his knowledge in the military, and then he applied that to
Right.
do atrocities in the apocalypse. So
That's
you know,
that's definitely possible. Yeah.
Yeah.
I can't remember not that them not saying that or saying
yeah.
something
Well, I don't know. See, there was something in the first episode that gave me the
I think
idea.
we'd
that,
have to go back, and probably.
Yeah, I got to
look.
go back and
Yeah.
listen and look at and watch it again, which I'll probably will do with the whole show.
The whole season.
Yeah, just because I think it's worth a rewatch. It was fun. It was a fun show. Definitely rewatchable.
The thing that I would rewatch it for, specifically is just Bella Ramsey's performance and Pedro Pascal's performance, because they're like these like kind of all-star, huge world-class perforrances, like
Right.
in a televised show. Like specifically Pedro Pascal, like what he's doing in the show. he's like a I don't know. He's a protagonist, the likes of which I may have never seen or seen very rarely in a show.
Yeah.
Like he's noble and like terrified and like kind of dumb a little bit. Like he plays like a kind of a brute a little bit in a lot of and like I think that's a really tough role to play, and like he does it with so much empathy. It's like it's incredible. I mean, and especially in the episode we're about to talk about.
Yeah. Real quick, just want to say hello to Pat DeRusso. Thank you for being here in East Coast Tina. Thank you guys for watching. We can see all your comments now in the comment chat box, the new comment chat box here. Well, okay, so there was one really great moment, and this is also from the game as well, where Ellie comes across the giraffe. Oh, we good? We lose you there, Jeremy? Jeremy, you still there? That's weird. Wait for him to come back here. I can hear his mic.
Oh yeah, I'm here.
Oh.
Sorry.
Oh, okay. All right. What happened there?
I had to go grab something from the door, so I just like.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, you scared me there. I was very
Sorry,
worried.
no,
I
no,
was
no.
like, I heard stuff going. Don't, Jeremy, Jesus, you can just say, "Hey, I'll be right back." I'll be right back. Don't scare me like that again.
No. Have to ghost. I have to ghost.
Okay, so God, what was I saying? Oh, okay, so yeah, so she has this moment with the giraffe, and this is this whole episode was like a direct pull from the game, right? This happened in the game where it gave her sort of a moment, even if it was only for a couple of minutes, to sort of just be Ellie again for a second, and sort of a reprieve from her from the trauma that she just experienced. But yeah, I mean, what did you think of these sort of two scenes with Pedro telling the story of him missing, and
Right.
and the giraffe moment as well, which I thought was really cool.
Yeah, very cool. Again, like, I guess I hate to keep just like overly referencing the game as if like it really matters, but like I appreciated the moments that felt to me like where they had more authorship of the moment, like Pedro talking about his daughter at the beginning of the episode, for example, was like a really great moment that felt very new and fresh. And then like the giraffe moment, which is again very cool, is ripped right from the game, like, and just copy pasted on. So it's like I like when we're seeing a version of The Last of Us that is sort of uniquely identified by these two actors, by Craig Mazin, by like you know what I mean? Like any deviation is like so great in the game. And I don't know if we mentioned it, but I think this is the episode where it opens with, or is that the previous episode that opens with like the mom?
This is this episode. Yeah.
Okay, great. Yeah.
Yeah, actually, that's where this episode opens. I totally skipped that part. I was actually
I forgot.
going
I
to my
couldn't remember
notes
if it was
right
the
now.
last one, but
Yeah,
the mom.
this-
So the original actor who played Ellie in the game plays the mom
Yep.
of Ellie in this, and it's like her running from zombies, getting bit, giving birth, and then ultimately Marlene comes in. saves
She
the baby.
also, I think she also, my girlfriend had pointed out that she's also done other stuff as a child actor. She
Yeah.
played I think, what was it, Mel Gibson's kid in What Women Want or something like that.
Oh, sure.
I think
I buy that. Yeah.
I buy that. I'd buy that for $1. Okay, yeah, that was an awesome scene. We get the origin story of Ellie, right? Yeah, I totally
Right.
forgot to mention this. This is the very first scene of the show, and this is really cool because, okay, correct me if I'm wrong, but you get bit, right? And you're pregnant. Is it as instant as you get bit that infection spreads through your body? I mean, how quickly does it spread, I guess is my question.
I
Medically
don't
speaking,
know.
is it like, I guess the closest thing we could sort of compare it to would be venom from a snake, right? Like a rattlesnake.
Maybe.
You know, you get bit by a rattlesnake and it's like your blood starts to coagulate immediately.
Sure.
And everything basically stops. Circulation in your hand or wherever you get bit stops, and then that works its way to your heart, and then that's how you die.
I think they're definitely. I mean, none of this is real, so they're like playing fast
Right.
and loose with science in some degree. But like, I think they're trying to leave that open. That like perhaps that's why Ellie is immune. Is like maybe it's because her mom got bit
Yeah.
right before birth or something, and so maybe just I think we're led to believe like maybe a trickle of it got in, and that's how she acclimated to it very quickly or something. But the truth is we don't know. Like, you know what I mean? Like she could have actually just been immune from the jump.
Right.
You know,
And
but,
that had nothing to
but,
do
yeah.
with it.
But the show is trying to maybe go like, well, here's perhaps a logic to it, and
Yeah, they're definitely I feel like they're inferring.
Yeah.
Yeah, that this is why she's immune. Yeah. And it's an interesting. I found it interesting. I'm okay with it. It was just like, it felt a little quick. Like I was like, damn. But then I started, thinking of like, again, like a rattlesnake bite. Like I guess depending on what kind of shape you're in or whatever, you could die in a couple of minutes versus, I don't know, maybe live an hour before if you don't get medical attention,
Yeah, I think it seems like people don't turn all at the same rate in this show. Like they've talked about it taking days.
Right.
Sometimes they've talked about it taking hours. So I think it's like, and I like that because it's more loose. It's more like it's more like seems like how a poison or an infection or a disease might actually work. Like again, like I don't think it like a rattlesnake bite's an interesting thing because this is a disease, right? That they're getting, and it's happening in their brain. So it seems like it seems like it could potentially act different than a venom.
Well, what do you? I mean, you make a great point where they've definitely have said and shown that people turn at different rates. That's for sure.
Yes.
Like we've seen people turn pretty much right away, and then we've seen people turn. It took that one kid a whole. I mean, it seemed like about at least 12 hours, right? All night. And so what do you think about the idea? I've heard that pregnancies that happen in very, very stressful situations pass on to the child. So like maybe this idea of, because she even mentions it, she's like, you came out ready for a fight. Right. Like she's already out of the womb. This kid is yelling and fighting, and maybe that sort of that trauma has been passed on to her. In a way, it prepares her not only mentally and physically, but maybe also on a chemical level from I don't know, to being a maybe not a cure but immune to it.
Yeah.
Almost like the body maybe just created antibodies immediately in that situation to deal with the incoming problem.
It's, I mean, with me not knowing literally anything about medicine or
Right,
science,
right.
I would say that sounds good.
That's
and
fun.
and it's believable, and it's like it definitely suspends my disbelief,
Yeah.
which, again, too, and then I mean, you do wonder, okay, are they trying to answer a question that nobody had, maybe? But it's
Well,
like, well, maybe, but whatever. It
is
still led to a cool scene
Agreed.
that I thought was
Dude, the
fun.
scene was insane. Yeah. And last point on this, because I always do look for the logic in these scenes. I don't know why. But Pat DeRusso says Ellie's mom was bit on her inner thigh where major blood vessels are, and that's a
Right.
good point. There's arteries there, and that's really close
that's
to
a
the
military
womb.
thing, right? Yeah, where
Um,
they teach you to like go for the thighs.
right,
Yeah, in combat.
because there's
if you, like-
arteries there.
Right. You can
Thighs,
pass
neck,
out.
wrists. Yeah, there's our major arteries. So maybe that's explanation as to why some turn quicker than others, because it gets its way into the bloodstream faster. Who knows? Anyway, but yeah, the overall point being that was, I think, maybe in the top 3 or 4 scenes of the entire series.
Oh, you thought so?
Yeah. I mean, other than Ellie
Good.
going absolute ham on Cult Leader.
Which is that's a great scene.
To me, that's the best scene of the show.
The her going ham on him.
Yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
I think
it's
I think this scene from Joel in this episode is probably a close second for me. They're almost like tied.
Oh, you mean how this
for like
plays
best
out?
scenes? Yeah. For like best scene, we'll get to it. Maybe we'll talk about our favorite scenes at the end of this.
Yeah, that'd be fun.
But okay, so from there, we get to the giraffes after they've sort of traveled there, and
Right,
then
I love
they get attacked by
Mhm.
the fireflies, and it turns out these are the fireflies that have the doctor that is going to hopefully secure a cure from Ellie's blood. That's what we've been led to believe, and that's what the game leads you to believe, that it's going to be a synthesized sort of blood thing. We'll take her blood, we'll be able to reproduce her blood and make some sort of medicine out of it, and then we'll be able to administer that medicine to whoever needs it.
Right.
And we learned that is not the case whatsoever, and we get a really, really, really cool scene between Joel's character and hold on, let me look at my notes here. I'm forgetting Marlene's character. Thank you.
Right.
So you want to talk about this scene here and sort of what you picked up on it?
Yeah. Well, first question to you is like, and again, not to, because this was a big moment for me where I was like, so Marlene was already there.
Yes.
But she's the one who gave Ellie to Joel. So then my thinking is going like, why, if you were going to get there first,
Yeah.
why didn't you hang on to Ellie? She'd already be there.
I think because there's nowhere Marlene can't travel without a lot of attention if she has Ellie. If that makes sense. And she also had to take care of her friend that I believe was hurt at the time as well. Right?
Yeah, but if Ellie is the thing that everyone's willing to die for,
Yeah.
the risk of because the first thing that happens in the scene is she expresses how shocked basically she is that they went through all that and got there. She's like, I can't believe you were able to do that. Like, because she's like, even mentions, I would had all these people protecting me.
Mm-hmm.
And you know what I mean? And it's like, well, if you had all that protection, why'd you give the best, most important key to the existence and then risk like that he's a good guy or that he isn't going to
here's a theory.
Or...
Maybe she didn't really want to take her there because she knew what the end result would have been. that Ellie has to
Maybe.
die. Ellie has to die to get the cure. And
I feel
maybe
like if that's
she
true,
didn't.
She would have helped Joel then kill
Maybe.
everybody in the.
Or what I think is sort of the reason why I thought as to why she gave him to Joel is because she knows how dangerous Joel is and how
Right.
capable he is of staying alive. He's probably one of the only smugglers that she knows that hasn't died.
Right. Yeah.
And so I think she giving her to him isn't a risk. It's actually, to me, I think it's less risky because the travel party is smaller. It's only 2 or 3 people. Started out 3, ended up being 2. And he's also insanely capable of killing, which he shows at the end of this episode. And I think she has a genuine not only respect for his skills but a fear of them, because she says in this dialogue, this is an insanely good scene. She's like, I did not want to be in your debt.
Right.
Like
right.
she
Yeah.
like that line to me tells me that she knows what his reaction's gonna be when he learns what he's learned, because I think she knows immediately that Joel is not gonna like the answer that he's about to get as far as what has to happen to Ellie to get this cure. And so yeah, go ahead. I mean, that's sort of my thoughts to your question.
Yeah. No. That's. I mean. Yeah. I mean, I don't want to say it's like a plot hole for me, but it is like.
No.
It is like. It's one of those things where it's like.
It's a logic thing.
Why did Marlene didn't even need to be here at this facility? Like they could have just learned the information without her. Like they could have just been inducted into the Fireflies and had the same scene. But whatever. She was there. She's a great actor. The performances are great, and the.
Can I give you a
scene
reason
is
to
good.
why?
Yeah.
Can I give you a reason to why?
Yeah.
Because when
yeah.
he kills her, that's way more impactful than if it was just some person that he met there as he's waking up.
Absolutely. I mean, sure. Yeah. And I tend to remember. Like,
what was the reason in the game?
Yeah, for sure. And I can't remember like why in the game. I mean, it might have been the same exact reason, but like, yeah. Looking back, it's like it's a bunch of conveniences, but that's okay. Like it's also like a sci-fi show. I think this scene is really good for those reasons, and you get to see Marlene sort of again like choose duty and over friendship, or like.
Yeah.
What she believes to be right over personal, because she doesn't want to kill Ellie either. Keep in mind, Marlene has grown up with Ellie, Ellie's grown up with Marlene. Yeah. She loves her like perhaps her own daughter or whatever. So it's just a horrible moment, but I guess we can move on to what happens next.
Yeah.
It's pretty wild.
It's pretty freaking it's a killer scene.
Yeah.
So this is where we get to see, again, Pedro Pascal absolutely shine. And I love seeing him at the Oscars the other night. Like,
yeah,
dude,
right.
This guy's having such a moment, and I absolutely love it. It's so great. And yeah, it was incredible.
Did you watch all the Oscars, by the way?
Actually, yeah, I did.
Yeah,
I watched, and I'll tell you this, Jeremy, I normally never watch award show, and I didn't watch any of it until I heard the acceptance speech for Data. I forget his name.
Oh right, yeah. Keiki Kwan or whatever.
Keiki Kwan. I think you're right. When I started hearing his speech, I got up out of my chair and went and watched it, and it was the best moment I've seen on TV in a really long time.
Yeah.
I felt like he was talking right at me, and I'm sure a lot of artists sort of got that feeling like, fuck, this guy didn't work for 25, almost 30 years. And now he's holding an Oscar. And also like Brendan Fraser. Yeah, it was. Yeah, I know we're getting sidetracked on Oscar talk, but yeah, I'm glad we
cool,
are,
though.
because there was some really great moments, and I knew Everything Everywhere All at Once was going to be a runaway smash at the Oscars. It was the best movie I've seen maybe ever. I think it might be my favorite movie of all time. It is that good. I was bawling in the theater when I saw that movie. And my girlfriend was like, "Are you okay?" I'm like, "This is the best movie I've seen in a really long time." And it's an important film. It's a really important film. It's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful film. I love every second of it. And so, yeah, when I heard that acceptance speech, man, I was bawling. I was like, this is so good. I mean, just the goosebumps, the absolute goosebumps. Yeah, it was such a cool moment. But yeah, to see Pedro there, and I thought he was like one of the best dressed dudes there. He looks so good. Such a handsome fellow.
Him and Daniel Kwan, but with that cool punk jacket or whatever.
Oh, dude, everybody. I mean, Angela Bassett looked so good.
Yeah.
She's.
Yeah. True.
Dude, that woman does not age. She is gorgeous. Anyway, yeah. So. Pedro Pascal gets the information. Joel gets the information that for them to extract or even begin sort of the process of getting this cured, they have to operate on Ellie, and that she's actually being prepped as he's waking up to go into surgery. And they explain to him that the disease is in the brain, and that they have to go and remove her brain, essentially, so they can get to the bottom of why she's immune to this disease. And obviously Joel does not like the sound of that. And and he's like, no, this is unacceptable. But they don't really give him a choice. You know, she basically says, you know, they take all his weapons. They're like, give him a backpack, drop him off on the highway 20 miles outside of town, and if he tries anything, shoot him.
Yeah, pretty cold for somebody that you're in debt to, you know.
Right. And I think honestly, her letting him go was paying that debt. Her not killing him on the spot was her paying that debt, I think. Because I think she knows he's coming for her. She knows, because she was the last person that caught him at the very end. And she, again, gives him the choice. Like, you can save humanity, or you can save this little girl.
Right.
And he chooses Ellie.
Right.
And the absolute bloodbath that he ensues to get to her is it was awesome in the game, and it was awesome in this show. It was awesome. It was so fucking cool to see Pedro Pascal just, again, for the second time in this show, just go fucking full psychopath. It was cool. It was just a lot of fun to watch. But so what do you think?
Oh yeah, I mean, I agree. It was you know, again, his like character is a big part of what is different about the show than the game. Like, Joel in the game is, I don't know, Joel here, it's like I don't want to say thoughtless, but it's like Pedro's performance of it's just like, it's like he becomes like the Terminator. You know what I mean? And it's like, and it's so compelling to watch him just make a game time choice. You know what I mean? Like, he's just,
how
you know
great
what? This
of
is
a
the
Terminator would he be?
Yeah. He would be a great Terminator.
He would make a great Terminator.
Yeah, he'd be good.
Pat DeRusso makes a good point, and he's like, here's the question. Would you let your daughter die to save humanity? Personally, I don't think I could do it.
That's what you're supposed to be asking yourself.
Right. And so let's ask ourselves that question. I mean, I don't have a daughter, right? The closest thing I could maybe put on the table would be my little goddaughter. my little
Sure.
niece. And I
Yeah.
I love her to death. Yeah, I think I would have done the same thing for her.
My answer is
Unless
the same, right? It's even less. I don't even think humanity's that worth saving.
yeah,
To be honest with you, like I don't like when I hear humanity's dying out, that doesn't fill me with dread. I'm like,
right.
oh, okay, well that's it for us. Like, it's not like I don't know, but so yes, I would save my daughter or an individual, a person. I don't think the ends justify the means there. I'm, and maybe that's just me being like stubborn about like I don't give a shit about humanity, but like I don't like
Well,
I think like if the world's gonna fall to a mushroom,
yeah.
the mushroom won. I don't know what else.
Yeah, no, I think that's what makes the game great, and I think that's
Yeah.
why they made it into a TV show, is because it is the ultimate question, right?
Right.
And I think, man, I think it might be split 50-50. I guess that depends on how much I value society, right? Versus my daughter.
Right. Right. It's almost unquestionable though. You're
Yeah,
probably not going to be able to let your daughter die.
I don't
Like
think
that's
so
just
either.
yeah.
I think the only way you could talk me into it
Mm-hmm.
is if she was a little older, and instead of, because I think the thing that sucks for Joel, and maybe part of the reason why he made the snap decision, is he didn't get a chance to talk to her. Like, maybe
Right.
if they had had a chance to have a conversation like, hey, you're gonna fucking die, and she's like, yeah, I'm okay with that. Like, you have to
Yeah.
let me go. Like, I am
Right.
giving them consent to do this. I understand. And I had a feeling this is where it was going to end. And I think if
Yeah.
you have that conversation and then he snaps, then
That's definitely different. Yeah.
yeah, he's a monster, right?
Right.
But at least he's got some kind of closure. I don't think Joel snaps in that situation. I think he doesn't like it.
Right.
But I think he respects what she wants, because at the end of the day, that's really what he's trying. I think I think in his mind, with as bitter as he is toward the world, he wakes up and he's basically told to hit the fucking road and we're gonna kill Ellie.
Right.
And in his mind, he's like, no, that's not the way this journey is ending. And so that's his justification for doing what he does, is, because in his mind, I'm sure he's thinking all sorts of just horrible shit. Like, oh, they took her, they drugged her. Did they
Yeah.
beat her? Did they rape, or, or I probably can't say that word on YouTube. So did they R-word her? Did they do it? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Right.
I'm sure all sorts of just fucked up thoughts are running through his head. And so that's his justification. That's his motivation. That's why he turns into the Terminator,
Right.
Because they didn't give him they put a gun to his head and they said, get the fuck out of here, basically.
Right.
And so I can understand why he did what he did. But then after he gets Ellie out, he lies to her.
Yeah.
He lies to her, straight up lies to her. And she knows it. Like, she's too fucking smart for that bullshit, And I think, and season 2 is going to be really, really interesting to see what happens to these characters and whether or not it even goes past the season 2. And if it does, who stays and who goes, or do they extend characters? There's so many things. That they could either follow or not follow. But I mean, what are your thoughts on sort of what Joel does after he gets her out, or just the fact of why he got her out? I mean, we've already established you would have done the same thing if you had the capability, right?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, for sure. And the lying thing is an interesting choice. So, like, this is obviously one of the most famous parts of the game, and they play it in the show exactly the way it happens in the game.
Yeah.
And it is one of the all-time great blackouts, like of him lying to her face, her accepting it, and then you cut to black. It's like it's a trick now that we've seen that 10 whole years ago when the game first came out, and then now today on the show. And I think, like, so I've had a decade to think about this, I guess is what I'm trying to say. I guess what I think about it is like, yeah, maybe you can kind of track where my morality's at, but I'm like, I don't know if I would have personally lied to her, but I totally get why he does. That would have been a really hard thing for her to have to wrap her mind around, which is like, I could have potentially saved the world, but I would have had to die. In a way, his overbearing protectiveness, he's protecting her from that knowledge.
Well, he's also protecting her from making her own decision.
Well, yeah, I mean, and that's where the pendulum swings back.
Right.
Is like not, he doesn't give her agency in the same way they weren't going to give her agency.
Right.
So Ellie's whole journey is about not being, it's about being able to be autonomous and have agency and make her own choices. And then we see, kind of in the second game, what happens when Ellie's allowed to make her own choices and when she becomes truly autonomous and on her own. Yeah. And it's a whole trip. The thing you brought up there at the end was kind of interesting about, like, I don't know if you were implying this or not, but maybe that they might do a second season that's not just the second game.
Yeah.
Because the second game is a time jump by about 10 years or so.
Right.
Like, Ellie at the point when the second game starts is
much older,
and Joel is much older. Kind of old man guy, kind of can't quite defend himself the way that he used to. So I could definitely, but there's a whole bunch of things we don't see in that time.
Right.
So I wonder, just to get more mileage out of the show, since it was so successful, will they write a second season that's all new stuff we've never seen before? Like the in-between the first and the second game? Because I would be more excited about that, I think, than just getting the second game right away. Or like next year. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm with you there. And I also think it gives an opportunity or yeah, I don't know if we're going to get this in season 2. Like flashbacks to how him and Nick Offerman's character met. Are we ever going to get sort of the backstory of how they became buddies? That would be great. How him and Joel became buddies. I would like to see the backstory of Joel getting older. Like, I want to see like Joel 70 years old and maybe like Ellie taking care of him, kind of situation.
Well, have you played the second game?
I haven't played second game. No, just the first one.
Okay, so yeah, I mean, all of those questions and more are answered for you in the second game.
Yeah.
And it stands to reason that if they were this precious about the story of the first game, they're going to be equally as precious about the story for the second game.
Right.
Meaning you can expect every single beat from the second game to probably happen in the same way it did for the first season.
Right.
That being said, they can kind of write themselves out of having to do that if they, at least for a while, if they continue the story from here. Because we don't know what happens from this moment to the second game's opening.
Right.
Like, it's all just nebulous. And there's so many great stories you could tell in this universe. There's so many characters in the second game we meet right away who have long relationships with Joel and Ellie that started from years before that.
Right.
Yeah. So there's all kinds of fun, great stuff. There's also, like, the way the second game's structured, and I don't want to give any spoilers away to anyone who might not have played it, including yourself, but I will say that the way it's structured, there is a focus on a whole other character who's not Joel and Ellie, who becomes one of the main characters of the second game. So, are we going to meet them maybe earlier than we get to meet them in Last of Us Part 2? Like, what is their whole path? What's their journey?
I'm interested to know if they answer, because I know the second game starts like 10 years later, but does it give us the sort of the resolution between Ellie and Joel as far as why the hell did you take me out of that hospital? Do they have that argument?
Kinda.
Do they have that sort of moment where Joel confesses to her that, yes, I lied to you?
I don't want to give too much away, but I will
Yeah.
say that that's definitely on the table. Like that
Right.
kind of stuff is definitely on the table, and the way that it expresses itself, I don't want to give you any hints or clues on, but suffice it to say, like, yeah, that's definitely part of the conversation in the second game. But it's that and more stuff.
Yeah.
And so
Okay.
it's
Well,
like,
we're gonna
yeah,
play the
yeah,
second. We're gonna play the
yeah.
second game on the show. So we'll do that, and so
Right.
that way we can play the game, and then before we get into season 2, we'll have the whole game experience in there.
Right. Well,
So
if you're gonna do that, please bring me on as a guest host. I would love to sit there with you and play, watch you play it and like
Okay.
sort of just chat with you about it because it's a cool time.
yeah, no, it's a it's a fun game. I mean, I love part 1. I think I did download part 2, and I might have started it, but I definitely didn't finish it. Just because it's a time commitment. But there was someone higher than a mug said, I wouldn't even let my pets die to save humanity.
Yeah, right. Yeah, same. Me neither. Yeah.
Oh my god, I love it. Renee Cruz, thank you for being here. She says gently and kindly press the share, like, and sub button if you haven't already. Truly helps. Thank you so much. And she said that the Cocaine Bear movie sucked.
Oh, bummer.
Yeah, bummer.
We want that to be good.
I know, I want that to be good so bad.
Yeah.
But I don't know if I want to go to the movies to watch it.
Probably
I'm kind
it
of
got a low Metascore, so probably not.
I'm kind of a snob when it comes to what movies I watch in the movie theater. Are you the same way?
No, because I'm a AMC A-lister, so
Okay.
I get 3 free theater movies a week. So it's
A
like
week.
yeah, so I can't go enough to
Yeah.
the movies. Yeah. So yeah, when everything's free like that, it's like, or I mean, you're paying monthly, whatever. But
Right.
I mean, they're definitely making money off me. I mean, I haven't gone now in 2 months to go see a movie, but like, man, last year I saw a lot of movies in theaters and a lot of garbage that I would never see in the movie theater, but did because why not? It's down the street.
I love going to the Alamo Draft House for my movies.
Oh yeah, Alamo's great.
Primarily because it gives me every single one of the nostalgia feels of walking into a movie theater. I just that and the Cinerama Dome were the 2 theaters, but the Cinerama is closed.
Oh man, I can't wait
So-
for that to come back though.
Is it coming back?
That's gonna be great. Yeah, I think so. Tarantino, I believe.
Well, he
bought
loves
it,
that
or
theater. Yeah, I mean,
that or another company, but that's gonna come back and that's gonna be great. And then yeah, I agree with you about. I just watched Infinity Pool at Alamo Draft House, and it was a good experience. I love that place.
yeah, dude, I love the Alamo Draft House. It is absolutely hands down my favorite theater. It doesn't have the biggest screens or the best sound, but I kind of love that.
Yeah, but it also plays like different. It gets different films than like AMC does. So
Yeah, but I mean, you could still go there and watch, the blockbuster films as well.
Right,
And I just you don't go to Alamo Draft House to get an IMAX experience like that. You're not
No.
going there for like the digital surround sound and the vibrating chairs and all that stuff. You're going there because it's a cool experience. I don't know. I love it.
right.
Okay, so that's where this episode ends. And yeah, we're off and ready for season 2 whenever it comes. I'm not sure. I know they definitely have announced season 2. I don't know if they've announced a year. Probably next year if I had to take a guess, depending on Pasquale's filming schedule, which has got to be insane. I heard he doesn't. I don't know if you heard this as well, but he doesn't do any actual on-screen acting for Mandalorian unless he's
Right.
taking off the helmet.
Is it just VO?
I think it's just VO. Which, if that's the case, man, that would save him a lot of time in the schedule. But I kind of bums me out that it's not him a little bit.
Yeah, that really bums me out because it's like, it's almost like when Vin Diesel played Groot or whatever. You're just like, but he doesn't really play Groot. Like it's a CG monster, and he just comes in and does a line or 2 or 3 intonations of the word Groot.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I that's a bummer. I wonder if that was always the case. I wonder if on season 1 that was also the case.
I don't think that was the case on season 1.
Yeah.
I think that
Now
started,
he might be just too big.
Yeah, I think that. I think, yeah. Well, it's not even so much too big, but just too busy. It's like,
Yeah,
I can understand his agency going to Disney and being like, "Look, we'll knock off, we'll give you a 10% discount on his rate or whatever."
Right.
And
he doesn't have to be there.
He doesn't have to be there, and we'll knock out his ADR in post. And it'll be a week as opposed to 3 months of filming, and then that way it opens him up to do other projects.
Yeah.
Like he's been doing.
Probably.
Well, dude.
How great.
It was great. It was so great.
Yep.
Such a good show. And I don't know if, you know what I did finally get to see, which I kind of want to do a review on, Triangle of Sadness.
Oh, yeah.
I know it didn't win at Oscars, but to me, that was the second best film of the year. Right behind Everywhere.
Yeah, that was my second favorite film of the year too. Everywhere was like I think my fourth favorite film, but my first favorite film was RRR. That was my favorite.
I have to watch that one.
Year. That one is so great, man. It's such a fun time. But yeah, I thought Triangle of Sadness was like tonally.
Yeah.
Triangle of Sadness is exactly what I'm looking for in a movie.
Yeah.
Like that kind of like hilarious, dry satire. I'm like, give me more.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, I know you and I had talked about a romantic comedy idea, but I also have a mockumentary satirical idea I want to run by you off air.
Yeah, let's do it.
And dude, I think it's ripe for a mockumentary.
Hell yeah.
But I'm right there with you, dude. I love that flick. I don't know, are you interested in doing a review of Triangle Sadness maybe next week?
Yeah.
While we're waiting for, I mean, I know I'm going to do Mandalorian. Tomorrow's Wednesday. We have our show tomorrow night. So I was probably going to do Mandalorian on Thursday. Are you watching Mandalorian?
I haven't been keeping up with it. I need to, but yeah.
Well, if you ever want to get in on that review, let me know. I'll be doing those for the rest of the season. But in the meantime, I kind of want to catch up on some of the Oscar films that I haven't watched. One of them being, I'm waiting for The Whale to rent.
I haven't seen that either.
I do not want to buy The Whale. I'm trying to. My girlfriend wants to watch it so bad. I'm like, babe, you're gonna spend $20 and we're gonna watch it one time.
Yeah, don't buy The Whale.
One time, all right.
I heard it's also like not everyone's favorite. So if on the off chance it's not even good, then it's like,
yeah. Well, I saw a really funny meme on Twitter today, and it was that one picture of the movie, and somebody had put, and you'll know it as soon as you see it, and somebody put the caption on there: "Is this the only frame in the entire movie?" Because they are using this one picture for the promo material, and it's just like, shit, what's going on here? But yeah, I mean, I want to watch it, but I don't want to pay for it. I feel like it's a renter. That's a renter because
I think so.
The rewatchability on it's not going to be high.
Yeah, I'm sure it'll be like streaming on like Amazon or something for free soon.
Soon. Yeah. Okay, so next Tuesday, Triangle of Sadness.
Maybe? I have an idea about that.
Yeah.
I have an idea about. I'll text you on the side though.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
All right. That sounds good. All right. Well, either way.
Let's just say the 4K release of it is coming out, and I think we should maybe wait for that.
Okay, I'm in on that.
Yeah.
Let's wait for the 4K release. Why? You think there's gonna be extra footage?
Oh, I just know I'm gonna get it and watch it.
Okay.
So I'm like, if we wait for that to happen, then it's like,
okay,
I get to have my cake and eat it too.
Yeah.
But if you want to go ahead and cover it,
no. We'll wait for the 4K release. I'm with you. I'll watch it in 4K. I'm interested in rewatching that flick because I know there's stuff I want to go back and sort of understand again. But like,
it's in the Criterion, so it's like they're publishing it or whatever.
Right. And yeah, I mean, and Criterion, if it's coming out through Criterion, you know it's a classic. Like
Yeah,
it's an absolute
it's
like
gonna believe in it.
they only put out like Wes Anderson films and flicks like this, and like the Red Balloon, you know, like very
Right.
important, like international films.
Seminal.
Yeah, seminal films. But though I did find it interesting. Was it Andrew Garfield that had read in the Oscars sort of the description of Triangle Sadness, or he mentioned something about how much he loved the film,
Yeah.
and I was like, man, like the elite do not understand that this film is about attacking them. Like literally,
right.
eat it. Like if the name of the movie wasn't called Triangle of Sadness, I think an alt title should have been Eat the Rich.
Right, for sure. Yeah. It's like rich people loving the menu or whatever. You're just like, get out of here.
Yeah, it just completely goes over the head. All right, well, Jeremy.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Dude, thank you. That was fun. Always a
Yeah.
good time talking to you. I'll see you tomorrow for our show.
Tomorrow, big show.
Big show.
Yeah.
Big
All right,
show.
buddy.
All right, my man. I'll see you. Yep, thank you. All right, you guys. That was Jeremy Shamet in the house. Let's switch to this, shall we? Thank you all so much for being here. Those who were here, I appreciate the love. If you haven't already, like, share, subscribe, all that beautiful algorithm stuff. If you really love the show, you want to leave in a tip in the tip jar. There are plenty of tip jars in the links in the description below. So thank you so much for coming and hanging out with us. I hope you guys are digging these reviews. I'm having fun doing them. Let's see here. Like I said, next week, okay, we're not going to do Triangle Sadness next week, but next week I got something special for y'all. I think you guys are going to dig it. So we'll do that next week. Tomorrow, wait, today's Tuesday, right? Right? Tomorrow, let me see something here. Did I schedule this show for tomorrow that I can't do tomorrow? Probably. Let me just look. Wednesday at 1. Yes, okay, it's at 1 o'clock. I forgot I scheduled it in the middle of the day. So tomorrow at 1 o'clock, we're going to be doing another episode of Church of Ufology, and we're going to be covering the brilliance that is the Twitter handle Cosmic Judas, UFO, the UFO Judas. He's got the best Twitter handle on all of Twitter within the hashtag UFO Twitter community. So we're going to go through every single meme that he's made for as long as until I'm done laughing. And yeah, so we're going to talk about that tomorrow at 1 o'clock. So come hang out for that. Other than that, I'm sure I'll have some game streams on Friday. Late in the afternoon, so if you guys want to come hang out with us, I think I'm going to download The Last of Us 2, and we're going to start The Last of Us 2. We're going to pick up the game from there and see what happens. So join us for that. Other than that, you guys have a wonderful rest of your week. Yeah, that's it. Have a wonderful rest of your week. Till next time, I love you all. Peace.